Hey folks, excited to see you here once again with me here in the studio couch. Maybe this will become a regular background for talking videos like this. Hope you enjoy it. I'll probably add a few more lights and things like that, but for right now this is what you get. I'm actually using my Lumix, my Panasonic Lumix. I think it's a G7 camera, the new camera that I announced earlier on this year. And so I'm deciding to experiment with some of the audio on the actual camera. So you're hearing the audio from the camera. I've heard it's a decent quality. 8 out of 10 is some of the reviews I've heard. So I will be, experimenting with some different, mics, shotgun mics, lapel mics, wireless mics, things like that. Hopefully we can get something worked out to the best of our ability for the best sound. What I wanted to talk about today is a neat strategy to help you focus and to help you get more done, and hopefully being less stressed about it and feeling less guilty about it. Okay, I'm not sure if it's released yet or if it's going to be scheduled for later, but I wrote a blog post, and I'll probably link to that down here somewhere in the description, about feeling guilty that you're not producing enough, or that you're procrastinating and not producing enough. I talked a little bit about that in there. If you're interested in that, go read the blog post if it's available now. If not, bookmark it. It will be available soon. I'm going to be scheduling that. But I wanted to talk about a strategy that I've used to kind of help me do something a little different in achieving goals this year. And that is, many of you probably know, I use a bullet journal a lot for planning, and I use it quite extensively. I've already over halfway filled this one up with last year and this year. There's an area in here called the future log, and that's where you're supposed to be able to schedule things in advance so that you can always go back and look at it for the next coming month and see whatever you need to schedule in there. And I've tried that several times, but I never really got it to stick. It really got to work for me. So I decided to do something a little different this year. I've been a part of a group for a while now called Guitar Acceleration and Artist Acceleration, and we talk about honing in skills and quote-unquote installing skills like Neo in the Matrix for 30 days at a time. 1 month at a time, we focus on a new skill. There'll probably be a link somewhere in the description below if you're interested in that, but we talk about that, and each month it's a different skill. It may be alternate picking, it may be sweep picking, it may be legato, any of those guitar skills that are necessary to level up. And I thought this year, why not try the 30-day approach to some of the goals that I'm excited about. Now, one of my problems is, one of a lot of goal setting problems for people, and for creatives especially, is something called shiny object syndrome, SOS. If you have shiny object syndrome, you need help, right? You get to working on a project, and all of a sudden something else comes out and you're like, squirrel, I'm going to chase that. I'm going to chase that shiny new object. Well, that's a really hard thing to deal with, because you feel like you don't have time to do all these things, and you want to do all these things. So what I've done is, in my bullet journal, in the future log area, so I can always go look back at it, I've got over here, and I've got a bigger example of this, so maybe it'll show up. Every month is blocked out, okay? So that's my bullet journal. Let me show it to you in a little bit better way of looking at it. Hopefully that will catch a little bit. Every month is blocked off, okay? And each month is a new quarter. Usually I used to do quarterly goals. If you're familiar with my Smart Focus series, I'm considering these part of the focus goals, which is book 2 of the Smart Focus series of the books that I wrote on goals. And I'm considering these a new approach to focus goals, because I want to focus on one thing until successful. That's what focus stands for. Follow one thing until successful. And so instead of doing quarterly goals, what I'm doing is I'm writing down some things that I'm excited about to do each month. And I'm not planning too far in advance, because I want to have some months free and open, so that if there are shiny object syndrome, I can feel not guilty and feel okay about chasing those things, okay? Last month in January was all about writing new blog posts. And what I wanted to do was glean some of my old journals, get some ideas, and kind of tweak those just ever so slightly to make them informational and valuable content. And so I was able, in 1 month, by focusing on this for 30 days, and I was actually getting excited about it. I wasn't feeling guilty about not doing some of the other things I wanted to do. I was just focusing on this, knowing that those other things were coming down the line because they are scheduled. So I can feel a breath of fresh air and relax, and the burden is off, right? The pressure is off. So I was able to produce at least 12 new blog posts by sitting down and writing some of these things in my journal that were from my journals in just 30 days. So to me, that's a big win, because it's more of an experiment for me. This is proof that if I just focus on one thing for just a little bit at a time, and I just block that out. Cal Newport talks about time blocking in one of his books. It's called Deep Work, and I really recommend that book. It's a really good book. And he talks about time blocking, the importance of it. If you dedicate a block of time to something, it's a lot easier to achieve that and not feel guilty about other things, because other things are scheduled out as well, okay? So for this past month, January, I wanted to focus on writing new content for my blog. I did that, and I'm scheduled all the way through March, okay? I just finished the last blog post like the first day of February. and I've scheduled it out, and everything's ready to go. I'm good for 3 months, right? So that's awesome. The whole first quarter is taken care of on the blog posts. And the cool thing is, by the time I get to March and the blog posts are kind of dwindling down, I can decide, since I have all this other space free, I can decide if I want to focus on another month on writing more blog content, right? So it kind of revolves and kind of circulates and comes back around to itself. If you don't fill everything up, you have more chance to do these things, okay? So that brings me to this month. What am I doing this month? February is all about getting the final song for my debut album, Revival in the Air, mixed, done, completed, released, and that album will be completed, okay? There is a bonus song I'd like to do eventually, but for the most part, the actual main album will be completed. So I'm excited to get that done. I'm going to be starting that first full week of February, so it'll be on the Monday, first Monday in February, which I think will be the 6th. That's what my goal is this month. And my goal is not to take a month to do it, because that's usually part of my problem is I take a long time. I nitpick really bad on my own mixes. So I want to get my mixes done, and I want to get it done within like a week, maybe 2. And so after that's done, I can successfully call that an achieved goal. Now, if my goal is to get that done in 2 weeks, then that leaves 2 more weeks for the month of February. So what happens then? Well, I've got some options here. I can either go ahead and start working on the next month's goal, or I can do some things just for fun. I can write a little bit. I can work on my novel some. I can do some other things that I may have been thinking about. Or I can maybe start chasing some other objects that may take 2 weeks, or that I may just want to kind of taste and see if that's something I want to do. If so, then I can block it out on one of these other months, okay? So this month is all about getting that song released. Look for it to be released hopefully sometime mid-February. It's going to be called Lord Fill My Cup. It'll be the final song on Revival in the Air. You can get that on Bandcamp. Go to ericbeatty.com/Bandcamp, okay? There should be links below for that. And you can check out Revival in the Air and some of my other music, okay? If you like to support my music, that's the best way to do it right now. Then I'm going to continue moving on, okay? For me, each one of these is a stepping stone. It's a big win, and it's feeling accomplished and validated and just feeling good that I'm getting things done, and not feeling guilty about not chasing other things, because I can always schedule those in. For now, I've got for March is completely dedicated to writing new music. I want to be able to have more music to perform if I did it like a live show or a live stream or something like that for electric guitar. I've got tons of stuff for acoustic guitar with all the gospel music, bluegrass music, and things like that. I've got tons of that stuff. So what I want to be able to do is write more electric guitar stuff so that I can have a repertoire to build from and to play live shows from, okay? So that's my main goal in March, is getting that repertoire done. I've got a lot of ideas that I've recorded over the years. I've just sit and videotaped a riff or a lick here or a melody here, a rhythm idea here, whatever, and I've got a lot of that stuff archived and on my computer, and I can go back and I've got all these things that I can work with now. So I'm not starting from a blank slate. It's not like you're looking at a blank page, you've got that, terrifying, oh, it's a blank page, what am I going to start with? No, I've got things to work with, so that's a good idea. If you want to write any music, just start compiling some ideas, whether audio or video, and going with that. Now for April here, there's a course that I bought about a year and a half ago that I only got to play just a little bit of, and only got to work my way through a little bit of that. And I wanted to go back and focus on that, because there's a lot that I missed because of this other course that I've told you about, the Guitar Acceleration and Artist Acceleration course. We did that for a whole year. It's already over a year now, and we're still doing some of that. So this other course was put by the wayside, and this is a course by Marcos Foley, one of my favorite guitarists, and I've talked about here on the channel endlessly. He's an amazing guitarist. I've got an interview with him. Probably have an ending video or a card linking to that. It's an amazing guitarist. He's got a new album coming out very soon. I can't wait to get that. But his course is on JTC. It's called Melodic Rock Soloing 101. Now, I purchased that and went through just about all of what's called melodic scales, and that's basically a solo section. There's like 10 of those, and so you learn like 10 solos within the backing track it gives you. So I was able to learn about 8 or 9 of those, and I was really happy about that. I've since forgotten them because it's been so long since I focused on it, but I want to go back and look at the other exercises, the other licks, get some new ideas and things like that. So that's what April is all about. Now, that may change. It's not set in stone. I like the idea of doing that, writing music and then going and practicing a little bit, and then by the time I get here, there may be other things I would like to do. One of the things I want to do this year for sure is finish the edits on my novel, which I've been trying my best to do for years. I've got other novels that are waiting for me to edit if I can just get this one done. So those are going to be one of those next month, is to completely hammer down and focus on that for 30 days. Right now what I'm doing is just during the day I'm working on these goals, and during the evenings when I'm kind of done, I'm relaxed, if I feel like it, I'll edit the novel in that point. So I'm excited about that. So that's my idea as far as if you have goals you want to achieve, Give it 30 days. Don't feel guilty about what you're not achieving just yet, because there's room for that, okay? Don't plan the whole year out. Don't cram yourself full and spread yourself too thin. Trust me, it will be more of a relief. You can breathe. There's not all this pressure by doing this. And for me, 1 month is enough to prove that I can get a lot done if I would just focus on one thing until successful, okay? So thanks so much for watching, guys. Please check out the end videos I have here for you. I hope you've made this. Hope this has been great for you and you've liked it. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you think this is valuable content. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. God bless and keep creating.